My name is Patrick Bowen. I am a UX researcher here at Status. I also do a little bit of design. And I have basically been working in UX for the last, it's been about 12 years now. For the Status, I come from what I think a lot of people refer to as like purely the Web 2 world, the old world of the web, where I work for some pretty big companies, including Google and Salesforce. It's critical. It's important, I think, on a couple different levels. The first and foremost being is that it is a new way for, in some ways, to interact with an internet that is kind of like a new version of the internet, as well as it introduces concepts around money stewardship, I'd call it, or like ownership, and how people think about how they might transfer the value of their money in the future. And that requires a lot of explanation. And so that's kind of where UX comes in, I think. Taking complex concepts like identity management, as well as, again, this like ownership of your assets, and simplifying it down to really key, like not only like visual constructs that are simple for people to understand and use, but also sort of like enjoyable and kind of make it obvious that this is potentially a better way of transacting, for example, or just communicating with people on there. I think we got a lot of work to do around about translating a lot of long strings of numbers into readable formats and relatable formats that people can use to communicate with one another. So I really love a lot of the work in the ENS space and the work that's gone around making a lot of which basically hashes, which are kind of like a byproduct, what I would consider like a technical byproduct of what people have been building, and making it like a simple, relatable concept, which is actually, it's kind of similar to what email addresses are, for example, in Web 2. In the end, I think it comes back to onboarding and getting people familiar with unfamiliar concepts very quickly. And anytime you do that, you kind of can create buzz around doing something in a different way. And so this is like, I'm fully convinced and believe that using blockchain, for example, to transfer assets is a much better way and a much more secure way of doing it. It's just a question of getting people to like kind of have those moments where the light bulb goes off and they understand, okay, yeah, this is different and it's a better way to do it. Personally, similar to what I was just talking about, I think we will probably have a moment, if it's not already happening, where I do think you're going to find a lot of people from kind of the Web 2 UX world get very interested in what's going on in blockchain in the next 18 months, simply because there's a lot of different problems. Like there are problems that are familiar enough when you take a look at them from the UX perspective that I think people will say, oh yeah, I've experienced like with helping people sign on to systems that are kind of like new systems. I've built sign-on flows before, for example, and I can bring my expertise into the space, and it's super, super interesting.